In this video, I'm going to show you how to browse the historical records collection on FamilySearch.org. From the search screen, scroll down to the bottom until you see the world map. On the left-hand side of the map, you will see a list of locations. You can click on these locations and search the collections for those locations, or you can click on Browse All Published Collections to view all of the collections that FamilySearch has at this time. In this video, we're going to click on Browse All. Once you're on the Historical Records Collections page, if you look to the right-hand side of the screen, at the top you will see a number, and that number is how many collections are currently available on FamilySearch.org. You will also note that if you see an asterisk, that it means that that collection is new or recently updated. As you're scrolling down the list, you will see some camera icons. These camera icons indicate that there are images for that collection. If you don't see a camera icon, that means that collection is an index. You may also come across Browse Images. If you see Browse Images, that means there is no index for that collection, and you have to look through it like you would look through a microfilm, page by page. On the left-hand side of the screen, you will see a way to filter the records collection. You can filter by place, date, or by collection. Let's start by filtering by place. At the end of each place name, there is a number. This number tells you how many records out of 1646 there are for that place. So, for example, if you are looking in the Caribbean, there are 152 records available for the Caribbean, Central and South America. If you are looking in the United Kingdom and Ireland, there are 104 records, and the United States has 743. Let's click on the United States. Up in the right-hand corner, the number has now changed to indicate how many collections there are for the place that we have selected. Then it also changed the filter on the left-hand side to show that I can further filter this place by the state. And it also, again, indicates how many records are in each state at the end of each state name. Let's look at records for Utah. If I click on Utah, now it's showing me the number of collections for Utah, and it's giving me a list of everything that has to do with Utah records that they have online. If it's a large list, I can further narrow the list by narrowing it with a date. And it also shows me how many records for each date there are. So let's narrow it down between 1800 and 1846. There are only 5 records for that time period. I can further narrow it down by collection type, and by clicking on one of these options. Let's do birth, marriage, and death. And now I am down to 2 records of birth, marriage, and death in the 1800s through the 1849, and only in Utah. So now I can decide if either of these 2 historical record collections will help me to find my ancestor. So if we click on this one, it will take us to a search screen where I can search that record collection by just entering the information I know about my ancestor. And that's how you filter your find a collection to look through by filtering your information. If we go back to the first screen of all collections, There's another way you can find a collection to look at, and that's by searching for a word in the title of or words in the title of your collection. So for example, if I was looking for births in Iowa, I could type in Iowa and then birth and see if there are any collections that have to do with Iowa and births. I can also search for dates by typing in a year and seeing what records are available for that year. So in this case, I typed in 1940, and I can look through these records to see if any of these collections would help me find my ancestor in 1940. I can also combine numbers or years or dates and words. So if I was looking for the 1940 census, I could start typing census after 1940, and I could see that there are a couple of censuses that have to do with the 1940s. And then I can select one of those and look at the records and see if I can find my ancestor. And that's the basics of historical record collections.